That's right.
Alex Zalben's here. Listen, Alex, Fanside is where people go and click on the extra sites button. You're going to see Alex, and he manages about 800 different entertainment sites and keeps up to date with all of that news. Are we in a position where these streaming bundles is cable 2.0?
Not exactly. I mean, I think that's what it is on the surface. There's a couple of things that were announced recently. We had a Disney Warner Brothers Discovery bundle announced that's going to come later this year. That's going to have Disney Plus, Hulu, and Max all streaming together, which is pretty wild because you have Disney and Warner Brothers are two very big rivals. Another one that was announced very soon after that is Comcast is going to offer a bundle with Peacock, Netflix, and Apple TV Plus. And the last one, which is rapidly developing if you're a sports fan, is there's going to be a streaming bundle called Venue. I believe that's how it's pronounced. There's no E at the end, but it's VENU, with Disney, Fox, and Warner Brothers all having all of their sports content on there. So a lot of this stuff is coming out, and it seems on the surface to be like, well, here we go. Here's cable again. But for the most part, with the exception of Venue, it's all separate apps. You're not getting it the way that we get cable, where it's a channel guide. This is more you're paying, hopefully, a reduced fee to get services that you potentially get anyway or might be interested in, but you're still going to have to click to different places.
Will we see more mergers as the HBO Max thing was?
I think we will see that. I mean, that's going to be sort of a side effect. I don't think we're ever going to see Disney and Warner Brothers merge because the government would shut that down pretty much immediately. But there's a lot of talk about, for example, Paramount, I believe, is up for sale. And there's a lot of companies that are circling that. Again, I'm not really a finance guy, but I think that's going to be up to a lot of regulation from the government in terms of how big that company will get. But the streaming things are more the streamers and the companies behind them realizing people have an upper limit of the amount of streaming services they have, of the amount of TV they have. We were kind of in the Wild West for the past 5 years. And now what we're getting is they've hit that limit. Disney Plus has hit a limit. Netflix has hit a limit. And so they're looking for other ways to get new and different subscribers. And part of that is, Netflix saying, hey, maybe you decided to cut Netflix so you get paid Peacock and Apple TV. Great news. You can now have Netflix, Peacock, and Apple TV for the same price.
Well, I think this is great. I love the bundle rebundling problem that we're going to have here, but we have all of these different apps. Okay, now they're going to bundle them. How do we sign up for the bundle? Will it come through, let's say, Disney or Netflix? Because all of a sudden now I'm bundling, I'm paying for this bundle, and I'm also paying for it separately.
It's confusing. I think there was at one point I probably had 2 or 3 subscriptions to Max, and I just didn't realize it. Mind you, 1 or 2 of them were free, so I think I was doing okay. But there's a couple of different ways you're going to have to sign up, and it really depends on the bundle. We don't know a lot about how Disney and Warner Brothers are going to do their thing, but one thing that is said is they already kind of do this. Disney Plus and Hulu are bundled together. Hulu content is now on Disney Plus, so that's not a big lift there. And certain parts of Max, specifically HBO and other services, you can always subscribe currently through Hulu. So really what it's going to be is each app, Disney Plus, Hulu, Max, in that case, is going to have a, hey, signing up for Disney Plus, do you want Hulu and Max as well for this extra fee? And that's how you sign up for it. Versus the Comcast thing, I think that's through Comcast, they're going to say, do you want to sign up for Peacock, Netflix, and Apple TV Plus? I think there's a slight possibility you could end up with multiple subscriptions or something, depending on what email addresses you're using. But for the most part, I think they're going to make it pretty clear for you if you're already signed up.
Let me get Nick and Jane in here. Nick.
Yeah, real quick. I mean, there was this trend for a while where people were cutting the cords. Yeah, maybe they had Netflix or Disney or whatever, but they were also putting antennas back on their homes. Is that still a thing?
I think so, and I think it's increasingly going to become a thing. Like we're talking about here, it's confusing, and I always come back to consumer first, which is not how companies think. They're thinking money, they're thinking exponential growth. And ultimately, this is going way back, like you're saying, but putting an antenna up, watching 4 channels is way easier to wrap your mind around than I have 10 different streaming apps. The movies and TV shows are jumping all over the place.
It's just too much. There's too much stuff.
Way too much.
Yeah.
Too much that's very confusing. So, but basic cable is really never going to go away. It kind of all stems from basic cable. Well, they're saying Comcast is announcing the bundle with Peacock, Apple, and Netflix.
But cable as you know it right now?
Well,
no.
Yeah. I would suggest a way out of this is kind of what Apple TV does. I don't know if any of you have that, but they actually have a really good search function where you just use their Siri. Sorry if I activated anybody's Siri on the radio while I was saying that, but they use their Siri and you just ask for a show or a movie. Anything that you're subscribed to that you've logged in on Apple TV, that's where it comes up. So it's more using it as a hub rather than anything else. And honestly, I go to the Apple TV more than anything versus Prime Video does a similar thing, but their search function, frankly, is very, very bad. But that's the way I could see it going. You don't necessarily have channel lineup. You don't necessarily have cable, but you're logged into your subscriptions all in one place like an Apple TV, and that's where you kind of go to.
Okay.
All right.
I'm fine with that. I'll take them all.
John, you have a
Thank
question?
you.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so I don't have a phone or TV or a computer. How can I? No, but you know what I always wanted Comcast to do is let me choose, like charge me, and then I get to choose 10 channels that I want.
Some of the phone companies do that in particular when they'll have a deal with like, hey, you could get Netflix or Max or this other thing. But I think what they're realizing is they kind of have the power of this situation per the Comcast thing, and they could be like, no, our customers don't have to choose. They get it all. So we'll see how that pans out, and we'll see how that pans out financially, but that's certainly a way things could go as well.
Yeah, and as I said earlier, it started out with broadcast TV, it turned into cable TV, and then it turned into all these streaming services, and then it turned into the streaming services running live programming and live sports, which means now it's going to be broadcast TV that you're paying monthly fees for.
But that means we're still paying $15 per service right now, and plus our cable bill, so we're really still spending lots of money. Okay, great.
Yep, for sure. Alex, thanks for cheering us up, man.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
See him at fansided.com.